Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your weekly reading for May 19th to the 25th. This is for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're going to jump right into it. Scorpio, this is the week that we're here. All right. You can see what's happening here. Saturn moving into Aries. This is the third of the four outer planets changing signs this year, but in that compressed compact period of time. So as you know, I've talked about this forever. Look at your May or even your annual forecast that I did for you. This is history making, okay? There's more to it. There's more to just Saturn moving into Aries, a lot more to it. It is a third of the four outer planets, as I explained, and that's just really, really, really big here, okay? And so when I say really, really big, this is epic. This is a landmark moment of epic cosmic proportion, okay? And we'll talk about it later. You've been feeling this, and this is, you see what's happening on the same day? One of the most, powerful conjunctions of the year. It's going to be a big week, but remember what I said in your monthly forecast, okay? This is the month where everything changes. Everything is more auspicious now. This is one of the best months, okay? You had that full moon in your sign. As long as you let the things go that you needed to do, that's all the full moon was saying. Like, we're going to transform because there's some really big things that's happening for you. And this week you're going to see, okay? And I'm going to point them out, but your life is changing. Your life is changing. Think about where you were, last year. Think about where you are now, right? And then remember, January to April of this year was just a little, but now we're out of those energies. We're out of those energies, okay? And everything since mid-March, that is when you really felt things, all right? Mid-March, early April. Anyway, it's all part of this great awakening. That's what 2025 is, right? The age of ascension that we have been talking about, all right? And I'll walk you through some of the things that y'all have been going through since mid-March, but welcome to the most stimulating, exciting, insanely optimistic, fruit-bearing, least boring week of May, okay? Remember the blue asterisk, best aspects of the week every week. They're all great, every single one. And look how powerful they are. They're all huge sextiles and trines. This is a shift, and you're going to feel it, okay? And I do want to say that, yes, you did have your full moon last week. That could have been a little, right? So you're finally moving into the, calmer waters, and this is going to be really great for you. Remember, Jupiter is with the nodes. Jupiter's with Chiron. There's a lot happening here, and you're doing healing for your personal transformation. And I do want to congratulate you because I did tell you in your May forecast, there's only 2 squares this week or this month. That's it. Okay. Only 2 challenging aspects, and they were last week, and they're done. They're in the past, okay? So everything from this point forward gets so much better, and one of the most auspicious months of 2025 that you start feeling right off the bat. Look at what happens on Tuesday, May 20th. You've got the Sun sextile Saturn. Yeah, that's right. You see it. The Sun is sextiling Neptune too. Listen, I can't even begin to tell you what this is for you. And you listen. Okay, so let's just stick with Sun sextile Saturn. It's at 29 degrees. That is the critical degree. That is the anaretic degree. What comes after 29 in astrology? 0. So what is this? This is this culmination for the past few years. Everything that you've been working on, right? This is it, okay? It's a graduation. This 29 degree, it's the peak. And remember, this Saturn, right, is still in Pisces only for a few days before moving into Aries, right? So that's at 29, and then it's going to go to that 0 degree. It's been in your 5th house. Saturn's been in your 5th house for the past few years. And what is the 5th house for Scorpios? That is the house of pleasure and joy and true love and romance, right? Creativity, creative projects, sex, procreation, having babies. So you have gone through those moments. Think about 2 years ago. Think about where you're at now. So Saturn is now rewarding you because he's here, okay? He's here at that 29 degree point. And listen, in every area that I've been telling you, in the 5th house of your chart, and especially if you're Scorpio rising, but every Scorpio is impacted. Now, remember, if you are watching for your sun, sometimes your sun isn't always about you, as I've explained many times, which is why you should watch your rising in addition to your sun, because that completes the forecast. But what it means is like your relationship with your partner or your lover or your child or whoever, right? This is your 5th house. So for a lot of y'all, this was falling in love, or this was, being tested in a relationship, or maybe even a relationship with your children, or having a child, or maybe thinking about the next steps in this area in your life. What brings you pleasure? What brings you joy? Remember, it can be recreation. Did you start playing basketball? And now Saturn was like, okay, we're going to, like a coach training you to, now you're going into the Olympics. That's what this is, okay? That creative projects, big thing for y'all. But remember, the sun is this life force. It's optimism. It's energy. It's everything. And it has this wonderful aspect with Saturn. Now, I've told you the past few months, okay? If you work with Saturn, who is karma and life lessons, you're going to be rewarded. And here you go. Here's your reward. Here's your diploma. You got through the Saturn North Node conjunction back in April. So Saturn has really been testing you, okay? Again, for many, many years. And now he's giving you wings, okay? Scorpio, this is going to be great because sextiles are windows of opportunity. They help you thrive. They help you prosper. And again, right before he moves into Aries in a different area of your life. And we'll talk about that when we get to it, all right? But I also told you that Saturn's making things easier for you now. It's not normal. It's not normal for Saturn. He comes in hard. He puts on his aviators. And yes, he's still testing. He will test you all the time. He will give you reality checks. That's what Saturn is. He is reality. But he does that so you have that structure and that discipline and longevity in terms of what you're committing your time and energy into. All right. And again, now with the sun, he's building that bridge for you. Okay. This is amazing. He's setting you up. And this is one of those aspects where you're just going to feel throughout the week. And again, as long as you put in the work, Sun, sextile Saturn in general is all about rewards. It's all about achievements. It's all about recognition, promotion, success, all of that. And yeah, Saturn is the authority. So quite literally, an authority figure can be opening doors for you right now, making things happen for you right now. Saturn's, he's also like the father, right? So it could be your father. It could be a grandfather. It could be a boss. It could be anything, but there's so much happening for you. So I'm very excited for you. And we only get this twice a year. This is the last time. Please take that inspired action, right? As you finish up those lessons in your 5th house of pleasure and joy, because now you're graduating. And what do you do when you graduate? You move on to the next stage. And that is what's happening this week. Saturn's going to come back in the fall and check up on you. But that's just a check-in because he's already been here for a few years. So you've already done the bulk of the work, right? And so when he comes back in fall, when he moves back into Pisces, just a check-in, right? All right. So he's not as hard as that time. Now, if you are a cross-watcher, if you watch for your rising or your mood or, your husband or your lover or your child or whoever it is, right? Your cat, everybody's going to feel Sun, sextile Saturn. Everybody, but the mutable signs, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, and the fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, you, Scorpio, and Aquarius. I'm also going to throw in Capricorn and Aries. And if you know your birth chart, right? If you know your natal chart, you have planets between 27 to 2 degrees in any of the signs that I just mentioned, the mutable or the fixed, okay? You will feel this. Now, that same day, you see what happens. We move right into Gemini season. This is enormous. And this is why that full moon was so pivotal for you, okay? I was saving it for this week. Gemini rules your 8th house, okay? Of death and rebirth, of transformation, of regeneration. 8th house is also partnership building, okay? It's deep, 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 deep. You know deep. 8th house, you're the native ruler. And so this is big for you. It's also wealth, money, inheritance, investments, bonuses, commissions, loans, royalties, taxes, things like that, everything there, all right? Joining bank accounts. Now, Gemini season in general for the next 4 weeks is all about communication. It's all about learning new things, teaching, writing, travel, marketing, advertising, PR, building bridges, launching businesses, opening doors opening for you. But most of all, it is having the curiosity for the new. All right. Gemini is very social, and it's all about the mind over matter, power to attract what you deserve. Now, see your monthly forecast, May forecast that I did for you, where I talk more about Gemini season. Okay. But I just want you to remember Jupiter is in Gemini. So you got Jupiter and the sun in Gemini. I mean, there you go. There's that expansion and growth and luck and fortune and wisdom and optimism and abundance to everything that I just said, and everything as part of your personal transformation. This is huge for you, Scorpio. This is going to be a portal for the next 4 weeks where you have really strong emphasis here. And remember, everything that you do, what happens on the Monday after this week, it is the new moon in Gemini that I have told you is one of the best new moons of the entire year. Because look at what's happening, okay? And then remember what's happening next week. And so this is big for you in your 8th house. Big. This is absolutely big. All right? 8th house is also sex, FYI. Now, Jupiter, by the way, I want you to remember, is also faith. Jupiter is faith, and Jupiter is belief. And belief is translated biochemically. That's why I say vibrate at a high frequency. All right. Attract what you deserve. You should know by now how the law of attraction works, right? Gemini is of the mind. It's power of the mind. And remember, Gemini is a twin. So 2 things here, by the way. All right. I've told you in the past, when you've got Jupiter and Gemini, you get 2 opportunities very often that come up for you. Secondly, you have the power to choose. Yeah. Choose self-belief and self-love and gratitude and compassion all the time, especially with what's happening this week. So vibrate at that high frequency, because everything is energy. And I say this again and again, it's not just divination and spirituality and manifestation. It is literally science. It is Albert Einstein himself saying, match the frequency of the reality you want, and you can't help but get that reality. And I use that quote very often to remind you of this, okay? And I am emphasizing it this week because I am going to tell you something about Albert Einstein, but at the same time, Albert Einstein got what he wanted. So his formula works. Vibrate at that high frequency. All right. Now, Thursday, May 22nd, you see the sun is going to sextile Neptune. This is great. That's at what, 1-2 degrees. This is absolutely amazing. Remember, Neptune in Aries, I did that video. It's that spiritual warrior archetype, compassionate leader, visionary leader, or that hero energy for the greater good. So this is enormously auspicious when you have it with the sun sextiling Saturn, because the sun is at this full blast, Jupiter is expanding, and now you've got Neptune bringing in all that heightened creativity and imagination and intuition and compassion, that visionary energy. So there is going to be this high level of spirituality that you're going to feel, this surge. And you're going to see the difference that makes when you do have those moments of meditation and mantras and even your dreams, Neptune's dreams, right? So paying attention to your dreams, the messages that are coming through. And lastly, what did I say about vision boards? Neptune is vision, visual, visualize. Visualization. Okay? Think about, that's what I want you to do, Scorpio. I want you to think about where you want to be 6 months from now. I want you to think about a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Whenever, right? Visualize it, right? I've talked about the neuroscience behind this, how this is also science, how visualization works. The past, the present, the future, they're all happening at the same time. That's why I say you create your reality. All right. So please take that time to visualize it, your timeline, and put yourself on that timeline. All right. Tap into your inner artist with this aspect, your inner musician, your inner filmmaker, photographer, playwright, healer, scientist, metaphysicist. It does not matter. All right. This is just visionary. Tim Burton, right? Frank Ocean. Versace, okay, Mikey Madison, who just won the Oscar. They all have this in their charts. They're born with it. You see how visionary and creative they are? Tap into that energy, all right? You're on a karmic journey. And everything that you do, especially this week, that's why I say take inspired action. Remember, they all have ripple effects. You expand your world, all right? Now, at the same time, Yeah, you got Venus trine Mars. We've talked about this, Scorpio. This is the two cosmic lovebirds in a powerful, harmonious aspect. Yeah? This is very different from the Venus Mars trines that we've had in the past. Because Venus was like retrograde and Mars was retrograde, or, in Cancer. Things that it was just, this is a different vibe. I've told you this, okay? This is fun. This is exciting. This is emotive. This is Riz, as the kids no longer say. Why is it? Because planets are direct. Venus is in Aries. Mars is in Leo. You got the Sun in Gemini. You got Pluto in Aquarius. You got fire and air here. So this is magnetic. This is you being magnetic. So please be social in all capacities. This is just fun. This is relationships, work. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We don't get this again until 2027. I told you this. This is your last. This is it. This is creativity. This is creative projects. This is love and romance and sex and money and pleasures and passion is what it is. So please go on a first date. Go on a fun date with your partner. Go to the clown store. Shop, go shopping. It's Venus. Start a new hobby. Do something. Have you done pickleball? Do some pickleball. Just do something here because you're going to really, really feel this. Okay? Use this and you will feel it the entire week. That's how strong it is. Right? Now, you've got Mars in Leo, your traditional ruler in Leo, in your 10th house of fame, public recognition, honors, achievements, and career. You've also got Venus in Aries in your 6th house, which is everyday activities, health, but also work. You do the math. There's some big career stuff happening for you right now. Okay? With all these other aspects happening at the same time, on the brink of that new moon in Gemini, where something brand new is about to happen for you in your 8th house. I mean, you've got to, this is big. This is going to be a big week for you. And I want you to get excited for this. And if you're not here for career, if you're retired, if you're not working, it does not matter. It's your everyday activities. It's your lifestyle. It's your routines. It's also your reputation. It's what you want to be known for. Okay? If you're putting all your energy into being known as the best, taco maker in your gated community, there you go. There you go. Use it. Just use this aspect, okay? The last thing I'm going to say, and I've said this before, if Venus is what your heart desires, right? If Venus is what brings you pleasure, Mars is the action that you take to get it. And it's a trine. It's effortless. So take that action, okay? And vibrate at that high frequency. And I say that actually for this aspect because it is so strong. What did I say about magnetism? You're vibrating at that high frequency, things will just come to you. It is the power of attraction. Like you have this, like kismet moments, sliding doors moments, right? So please, the one thing is just do not book that solo journey that you were planning to Antarctica this week. You do not want to be alone. You want to be present. Okay. This is the last Mars and the last Venus aspect of the month. Okay. Planetary wise. So please just go do things, right? Go build a tree house with the kids. Just, go audition for Rent. If that's still around. I don't even know. Hamilton. Start a new TikTok dance. Remember, we are in Gemini season. Be curious, be creative. But what did I say about Gemini season for you? Wealth building. You got Venus, money in your 6th house. You have so much potential here. Please use this, all right? Build things, do things, feel things. Now, another reason why you're really going to feel this, Scorpio, is because the moon will be in Aries too. And I'm not just talking about the moon. I'm talking about the moon, Neptune, and Ceres. We have a triple conjunction in Aries this day at 1 degree. Remember, I said that's a degree of initiation. And so Moon in Aries is just like when you just take action. Like, I don't even have to tell you. Like, that's when you just, right? And so we'll talk more about it in the second spread because there's a lot more to it. Just remember, you got Chiron and Eris together too, right? You even got Juno. Your ruler, right? The planetoid that's associated, that's in your sign right now, remember, was conjuncting that full moon. You got Juno active this week as well. We'll talk about the second spread. Juno was Jupiter's wife. We know that it's a big deal. All right. So second spread, we'll talk about it. But just know you have this fierce entrance into this amazing weekend. Okay. And then, by the way, one last thing, we do have a triple conjunction in Pisces with the North Node on Wednesday. If you just want to mark it in your calendar, we'll talk about the second spread, but that is at 29 degrees. We'll talk about it, okay? This is going to be big. Oh, gosh. One last thing. May 23rd, if you just want to mark it down, again, we will talk about this in the second spread. This is while Venus is trining Mars. You will have the moon conjunct Venus, which is one of the best. It's one of the top 3 moon, like, lunations that you could ask for, especially for you, because the moon will be trining, as you know. If the moon's conjuncting Venus, you know that the moon will be trining Mars too. So, anyway, May 24th, May 25th, depending on where you live. There you go. Welcome to the least boring weekend of ever. You've got Saturn moving into Aries, 11:30 p.m. my time, Eastern Standard Time. That's New York City time. Convert that to wherever you live. This is May 24th. So I will 1000% do a separate video live stream or on what's happening here with Saturn and Neptune in Aries, okay? Because that makes the difference. It's just, you can't talk about this in an hour. You can't. All right. So, and I'll tell you how it has an impact on you. But just remember, it's not just Saturn moving into Aries. It's Saturn with Neptune in Aries. Okay. So there's a lot of other things. I'll tell you a couple things. But this is the first time Saturn's been in Aries since the late 90s. Think about 96, 99. All right. What happened for you around that time? But you got Saturn with Neptune. It's going to be a whole different feel. Everything's going to be different. Trust me, it's going to be very, very, very different. But if you want to just know, like, little patterns, right? Saturn's going to be here with Neptune until September. All right. That's when he moves back into Pisces for a little bit. But he's giving you a preview of what your life is going to be like February 2026 and beyond. All right. So all summer long, you're going to get that little preview of where your life is going to be. Where do you want your life to be starting February 2026? But to be a little bit more accurate, like what's happening this summer with Saturn, Neptune, and Aries for you, it's barely a preview. You've already begun. You're actually in stage 1. All right. Why? Because of mid-March, right? Because of that, the 6th planet conjunction that we had over the 0-degree Aries point with a new moon solar eclipse in Aries, the equinox in Aries, Neptune moving into Aries, Venus was in Aries, Mercury in Aries. You see what Eris, Chiron in Aries. So you've already been warming up. And to be honest, Chiron moved into Aries back in 2017. You've been working on this, maybe not even knowing that you've been working on this. And again, Aries rules your 6th house. So that is everyday activities, your routines, your lifestyle. Health is a really big thing here. Okay. So for the next few years, you may have a huge adjustment with health. Okay. As in, I think I'm going to work out, or I'm going to do this, or just keep that in mind. All right. And one thing, by the way, Scorpios, that this is like another thing that I would talk about in the second spread, but I'm just going to tell you here because it is Saturn moving into your 6th house. Saturn is, you have Saturn moving into your 6th house, which rules health. Remember, Virgo is a native ruler of the 6th house. So healthcare, things like that, right? So Saturn is bones, by the way. So there may be something here where, there may be something with bones. like teeth. Remember, Aries rules the face. So there may be some dental work, or you may be becoming a dentist. You may be becoming a doctor. You may be becoming, do you know what I mean? Like, you may be doing something in the healthcare field. All right. Or it's just something that you may, have a moment where like, okay, I think I'm going to take more calcium for my bones. Either way, we'll talk about this throughout, every week. So anyway, the big thing here is, you are, this is just a new stage for you. All right. A new stage. Remember, 6th house is also work. And that is the biggest thing right now when you have Mars and Leo. But you have to remember that Saturn natively rules your 3rd house and your 4th house. And so when I look at what's happening for you, and if you want to use this as an analogy, but for a lot of y'all, this is actually going to be real. It's almost like you've had a lot of stuff happening with home, with family, with relationships, taking them to a next level. There's another layer to everything happening there. There's a lot of family stuff, likely some travel, and there's possibly some of y'all have moved in the past 6 months or will plan on moving because of some expansion, right? As in, like, you do have a kid and you got to get a bigger place, or you decide you want to move to a different city, or, you fall in love and you move in with a person that you get married to, or there's something here with like work as well that would have an impact on, maybe it's like, now I'm working from home, or now I'm going to go to the office. But anyway, there's just going to be changes. And remember, it's gradual. Okay. It's not going to be like all at once. It's gradual, but that's kind of like the big thing that's been happening. But either way, and pets, some of y'all be getting pets. Now, remember the big takeaway with what's happening here. You're moving into this brave new world, right? Brave. It's Aries. It's courageous. It's bold, right? Out with the old, in with the new. I've been telling you this for weeks. That's what's happening right now. Saturn leaving Pisces, right? The end of the zodiac into Aries, the beginning. And remember, Pluto moved into Aquarius. That's been breaking things down for your new era, working with Saturn, who is karma, life lessons, discipline for now your new structures and systems, this new direction. What's happening this week, Scorpio, is once in a lifetime. And I've told you this, especially with Neptune and Saturn conjuncting in Aries. Yes, I said conjuncting. Isn't that crazy? All summer long. They're tight. They're tight. This is powerful. They're merging their qualities. Okay? And remember, their perfection happens in February 2026. Okay? 0 degrees. And again, I talk about this. You can look back at your May forecast or your annual forecast. Okay, now let's keep going. So basically, this is just a big moment for you, and you're going to feel it really strongly because Saturn in Pisces is a very different feel from Saturn in Aries. Aries is consciousness. Pisces is the subconscious, right? So you're going to feel this. And it's all in the name of inspiring and empowering and contributing to the collective. That's what it is. So it doesn't matter if you're a writer, if you're a CEO or a chef or a doctor or a business owner or a grandmother or a son or a father or a sister. It doesn't, a banana taster. It does not matter. All right. It is you. It's you that matters because it's you on your new era, right? Whatever you do contributes to the collective. But at the end of the day, Saturn in Aries is mastery of self. All right. So this is, again, the beginning of something new. And remember what I said in your monthly forecast. What is Saturn in Aries? It's Mr. Miyagi. Wax on, wax off. Because Saturn in Aries will require patience. And the two most powerful warriors are patience and time. I've told you that. Leave in the comments. Who said that? Famous writer. All right. No Googling, no cheating. So again, it doesn't matter if you're Scorpio sun, rising, or moon. You're all going to feel this, but practice patience. Saturn, Chronos, time. The last of the traditional planets. Now, moving into the first zodiac. Nothing, I told you this, nothing would exist without Aries, right? It's the beginning, right? Aries Aries, like astrology wouldn't exist without Aries, right? So congratulations, because you've come to the end of a 29.5 year cycle. I told you, think of the late 90s. Saturn is the world card in tarot, all right? End of the major arcana. And he's traveling with Neptune, right? So the hanged man, who's associated with the world card. This has not happened in 320 years. Saturn and Neptune together. No one on Earth has experienced what we're about to go through this week. Unless you're a vampire. A rock in the river. Anyway, Saturn is also sextiling Uranus and trining Pluto. And that is what makes the difference. Remember, you've got Uranus. Okay, Scorpio, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you when we get to it. I got a big surprise for you in July. When Uranus moves into Gemini in July for the first time in 84 years. And I'm really excited to tell you what's happening for you. But I just want you to know that there's some amazing stuff happening for you. And then you've got Pluto that, in Aquarius for the first time in 250 years. Like, this is brand new energy and that nobody has experienced. But what did I say about Saturn making things easier for you? And Saturn is hard. He puts on his aviators. He tests you. He is reality checks. But again, this is going to be a very different feel. And this is where you see a lot more clearly in terms of what gives you purpose and drive and what makes your life meaningful enough to do the work that Saturn requires of you. And you are going to want to do it. You are going to feel excited doing it because Saturn is moving into Aries. Fuel. Aries, the fire sign. Fuel, the beginning. Fuel. I want this. All right? So you're good. You're great. Saturn in Aries, by the way, is a contradiction. It's interesting, and we'll talk about this in the second video that I do. But Saturn is slow, and he's old, and he's cold, and he's heavy, and he's patient. He's time. He's father time. Aries is fast and young and fiery and fearless and impatient, and he doesn't even wear a watch. So we will talk about this because when you throw Neptune in the mix and the trines and the sextiles in the mix, I told you Neptune's dreams too. Saturn turning your dreams into reality. Now, the one last thing I'm going to tell you here, because of something that you got now. Remember what I said? The lower expression of what's happening here with Saturn moving into Aries with Neptune, right? Because it's such a powerful, potent conjunction, it can bring those lower expressions of illusion and delusion and confusion and escapism and self-sabotage. So you want to avoid that. That's why you want to vibrate at that higher expression, and you'll get what you want. So be the change you want to see in the world. Who said that? There you go. I'm giving you a lot of quotes. I've talked about this one. He was born with Neptune in Aries. So anyway, wax on, wax off. You'll be rewarded, right? Learn, grow, have a plan. You'll be rewarded. All right. You go with the flow with the go. Remember, it's a process. And the past is the past. That's what Saturn's saying. Past is the past. And the past is called the past for a reason, right? And everything is cyclical. This is just another cycle. On top of cycles, on top of other cycles. And you learn your lessons, you do work, you're going to pass. You're going to move on to the next cycle. All right. So Saturn in Aries, big for you. And remember what I said last week. This is kind of like your full moon too, but with Saturn really active, like just lately, it's leaving old structures, patterns, ways of thinking, systems behind for this amazing new journey that you have awaiting for you. And again, okay, and by the way, Albert Einstein, yeah, he was born with Saturn in Aries, if that gives you any indication of, right? So y'all are going to be great. Now, you got partnership stuff too, really big ones, okay? We do have the moon in Taurus. It's going to be at its degree of exaltation. The moon is exalted in Taurus. We'll talk about it in the second spread. Now, same day of Saturn moving into Aries. This is why this is such a big deal. You got the Sun trine Pluto, all right? This obviously will have a huge impact on you. A huge impact. Now, we only get this twice a year, but this is that aspect that is just profound. It's visceral. It's that supercharged, powerful, unstoppable, you feeling on top of the world. The Sun is that life force. Pluto is power, empowerment, transformation. Pluto is your modern ruler. Of course you're going to feel this. And it's in the sign of the future. And so what's happening here first is you're going to feel this power that you never thought that you had in you. Look at what else is happening that's bringing all this self-belief and confidence and right? And so, yeah, something is transforming your life this week. And in fact, this aspect, yeah, you'll pretty much feel it till the end of the month. And it's likely you doing something. This is likely something that you're doing because you have that strong self-esteem. This is what that self-belief, that confidence. And let me remind you, you just got out of that full moon in your sign. You've already done your shadow work, okay? So now you're like, bring it on, right? You know doors are opening for you at this point. Why? Because you got the keys and you are unlocking them. That's what the Sun trine Pluto is. This is power of attraction. This is that life force energy. It's letting it be known. I've got the keys. I've got a magic wand. So if there are even doors closing on you, this is when you kick them open, okay? Make sure nobody's in the way. Just open it like gently. But this is just really, this is power. All right. It's power. So air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, as well as Leo and Scorpio. Got to feel this the most. If you know your chart, you have planets between 0 to 6 degrees in any of the fixed signs or mutable signs. Yes, absolutely. You will feel this. Now, what else will you feel, Scorpio? You're going to feel restless, right? Mind, body, stimulated. Because look at what's happening. You got Mercury conjunct Uranus. I mean, hello, huge, 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 huge. I can't even, huge. And when I say restless, in a good way, in a really, really good way, like you're about to go meet, Harry Styles. You're about to go meet Emma Stone, Scorpio. Yeah, Ryan Gosling, any of the Ryans. All the Ryans are Scorpios. Anyway. That's because Mercury is conjuncting Uranus in Taurus at 27 degrees. This is a powerful conjunction. It's rare. It happens once a year. This is a mic drop. This is you. Remember, Uranus is breakthroughs, right? So this is breakthroughs that you're going to be having in a huge way. And partnerships, relationships, legal matters, marriage, all of that. This is your 7th house. So, but you throw in everything else. Oh, yeah, you're going to have some major breakthroughs. And just like huge money, work, finances, love, creative projects. But this is Mercury conjunct Uranus, so breakthroughs up here of the mind, right? So sparks of clarity, light bulb moments, epiphanies about your future, new experiences that come out of the blue, new thoughts, surprise messages, even contracts, agreements in your physical world, right? Things that you never expected could happen. Yeah, or you make it happen because remember, Uranus says, use me, have those breakthroughs, make those breakthroughs. All right, Uranus is freedom. Okay, and Uranus wants you to do. All right, and shake things up, especially when you're having this new perspective. All right, for anything in your physical world. Okay. Interactions that you have. This is just very stimulating. It's asking you to think outside the box, or something is going to be presented to you in a way that you just never, you're like, oh, cool. Right. But once again, big, these two planets together is creative, inventive, original, rebellious, pioneering, inspiring, all about your future, how you're seeing your future, even getting news about your future. And again, big emphasis here, partnerships, relationships, legal matters, one-on-one connections. Again, it can be your lawyer, it can be your wedding planner, it can be your publicist, your sister, it doesn't matter. Just think one-on-one. And the other thing is happening in Taurus. So yeah, finances could be a really big thing here, as well as love, relationships. It could be food. There could be something here with food. Yeah. Especially because you do have Saturn and Neptune moving into, or, Aries in your 6th house. So anyway, basically, in the end, it's Uranus, the Great Awakener. In Taurus, 27 degrees is a mutable degree. We've talked about this. You just came out of the Uranus Kazemi, right? That was here too. So something big breakthrough. There's like movement in mind and communication. All right. Remember, 27 degrees is the Gemini degree in Gemini season with Jupiter and Gemini. So all about communication and messages. And up here, it could be you having these breakthrough ideas, even conversations. But the biggest takeaway, radical, innovative, revolutionary breakthroughs, change of mindset. Yeah, freedom. Freeing your mind. Yeah, free your mind, right? Hue and Vogue, free your mind. The rest will follow. Yeah. So big day for you, especially with everything else happening. And by the way, when I say you're going, like Scorpios are going to like, you're up there in terms of like the biggest growth for the next few years. This is the last Uranus conjunction in Taurus you're gonna have ever. I talked about this last week, okay? Because Uranus is moving to Gemini in July. And so this is for the next 84 years. So have that breakthrough, all right? Because remember, Uranus moving to Gemini, it just does a million times better than Uranus in Taurus, where it's, pretty much detriment. And so you could have been having like since 2018, just surprise moments in relationships and partnerships and one-on-one connections and legal matters, but you had some really good ones too, but even still. Anyway, Mercury is the lower octave of Uranus. So they're actually related. They rule air signs. Yeah, so Uranus, rules Aquarius. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo, right? 2 planets. And so it is all about the mind and communication and freedom and that rebellious energy and innovative and that genius energy right here. The Uranus, it's so please use this. It's actually really funny. It is kind of like I'm an Aquarius, I'm a Gemini rising, I'm a Virgo moon. It's my 3. Anyway, so obviously this is going to have a big impact on me. We'll see what happens. But anyway, fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Virgo, and Gemini will feel this the most. I'm throwing in Sagittarius and Pisces too. We're going to complete the mutables here. And then planets. If you have any planets in any fixed signs between 25 to 29 degrees, you will feel this. If you know your birth chart, if you have anything at that late degree, 25 to 29 degrees, you have had a year. It doesn't matter what planet. It doesn't matter what planet. You have had a year of a lot of change. Now, Moon and Taurus, we talked about that. You're going to have some big partnership stuff happening, okay? And then you see Mercury moving into Gemini on the 25th. We talked about this. Mercury rules Gemini. It's at home in Gemini. So basically at this point forward, you've got a stellium. You've got Mercury, Jupiter, the Sun, all in Gemini, all right? But so anything that I mentioned earlier about that Gemini energy is just amplified now, all right? Or that Mercury energy, all right? This is all about the mindset or communication or travel, business, writing, ideas, networking. You're going to be meeting new people now, all right? You're going to be craving stimulation now. All expanding. But the one thing, and I am going to do a separate video on this, okay? I promise you I'm going to do this, of Sedna, all right? So Sedna, one of the reasons why we're having this huge change in 2025, and we're not even halfway through the year, you're going to see, okay, is because of Sedna. Is because of her. We're talking about planetoid, dwarf planet, right? Sedna, first time in Gemini, and, since, the Big Bang. I mean, it's been a really long time, all right? Really long time. Definitely not the Big Bang, but big, long time. 0 degrees in Gemini now. Remember, that's a critical degree. So we'll talk about that, but that's Sedna's here too. Now, Mercury will sextile Saturn on that same day, right off the bat at night, okay? My time, around 9 p.m. my time, okay? New York City time, convert that wherever you live in the world. But again, it's a sextile. You're going to feel that days before, you're going to feel it days after. It leads right into that new moon, yeah? So this is happening. Remember, Mercury just moved into Gemini, Saturn just moved into Aries, 0 degrees. You will never, ever, ever, ever have this again, okay? Ever. At this degree, never. This aspect, you won't get again until next year. This is the degree of creation, of something new for the long term with Saturn here. This is huge, okay? There's something here that's growing and brewing for you. And yes, it is very likely agreements or contracts or business deals or negotiating or decision making or communication, marketing, whatever. It's all for the long term, whatever you want to do. Yeah. Writing a book, starting a website, redoing your resume, opening a store, okay? Opening an online store, becoming a teacher, a mentor, all right? Whatever it is, there's something you're breathing life into now. And there's this contractual, like Saturn bringing that promise of the long term. And remember, you got to put in the work, right? This is Saturn's like, you got to do the work. So just think about, what is your story to tell? What is your magnus opus? Here's your moment. Look at everything else that's happening. And everyone's going to feel this. This is a 0 degree. Everyone's going to feel this. Cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. Mutable signs, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces will feel it the most. If you have any planets between 0 to 2 degrees in your chart, you will 1000% feel this. And I will even give you a wider orb, okay? 3 degrees, 0 to 3 degrees. All right. So anyway, just remember what's happening next week. You're good. Y'all already good, Scorpio. Y'all already good. I love y'all. Let's get started, Scorpio. Let's see what's going on for you for May 19th to the 25th. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Okay. Scorpio, I do a how are y'all doing? I show you my Venus flytrap from last week. I don't remember. It was on sale. Listen, I do a traditional culture cross spread, offers the best overview. If we need to pull clarifiers, you know that we will. Secondly, Scorpio, you know I love y'all. Thanks so much for being here. Let's get started. Let's see what's going on for you. I'm very excited. All right, so yeah. This just blows my mind. This blows my mind. If you are a cross watcher, if you've already seen for any other, you know why, okay? You're good, but there's still something you gotta let go, all right? Still something you gotta let go. Now, you got the 6 of Cups. Hi, Scorpio. Hi, it's your card, all right? This card is actually attributed to Sun and Scorpio. One of the most beautiful cards. I love this. This is, speaking of children, right? We talked about children, right? But in any case, it represents your inner child. So remember what I said when you got Saturn with the North Node in your 5th house, right? So that is a big thing at 29 degrees before remember, like Saturn and Jupiter, particularly, when they leave a sign and move into a new sign, remember Jupiter is moving into Cancer in a few weeks from now. They always leave you like this parting gift, right? And this is so special. And this is wonderful because this is the biggest house in tarot, indicating a lot of comfort, security, protection, right? But it's also just saying you can let your hair down. You've gone through your full moon. You've gone through, some of this harder, intense energies that we've been feeling. And so this is really wonderful. And this is everything that I'm saying about, your 6th house and everyday activities and just feeling that really good, that calm and that protection. I'm even going to point out, look all the way in the back. You see that little guard, the security guard where my finger is? He's leaving. You don't need him no more. You're fine. You're good. Saturn gave you wings. You're good. You're fine. So this is harmony. This is beautiful. This is emotions. This is just, again, it's like no stress, long hair, no care. All right. Beautiful energy. And highly associated with the past. There's still maybe something from the past coming through this week as well. All right. But in a beautiful way. And then there you go. You got the 6 of Wands and the heart of your spread. What did I say about this week being huge for you if you are here for career or for work? And again, it does not matter. It's wands. Wands are, it's enterprise, profession, career. But wands are still just your passions, right? Your passions, whatever you're passionate about, whatever you're ambitious about. But this is recognition. What did I say about Sun, Sextile, Saturn? This is recognition. This is achievement. You're going to feel this. You're going to feel this. And this card is attributed to Jupiter and Leo. It's a Leo card. Where's Mars? In Leo. That's your 10th house of fame and achievements in career. What's happening with Neptune and Saturn and Ceres and all those other, asteroids, planetoids, and Aries, Venus, and Aries right now in your 6th house of work. And I mean, come on. So any way you slice it, amazing. Yeah. You got the 2 of Cups. All right. So what I say about partnerships, relationships, going to be a really big thing for you this week. It's in your challenge area. So yeah, 2 things here. The first thing is, yes, this is going to be a week where it's almost like there's going to be a lot happening, and there's going to be, even coming after your full moon, a little bit, you got Uranus being unpredictable in your 7th house of partnerships, relationships. And so there just may be something here. Like I said, that whole, I think I mentioned earlier, there may be some adjustments with like work, home. It's just prioritizing. That's all it is. Okay. Secondly, yes, there may be a conversation you may need to have with someone else, partnerships. Okay. Partnerships or relationships. And hey, that can be career. It can be platonic. It can be a friend. It can be whatever. Right. But this is the soulmate card, twin flame card. It's like, it's like we're building something here special. This is like, I fell in love. You see the winged lion, right? There you go. This card is actually Venus. It's a Venus card. Venus is with Mars this week. That's passion, by the way. So again, just there's something here we're going to have to keep an eye on. Now, the third thing is, and it may be somewhat like a partnership that, whatever. But the third thing is that, yeah, there may be something here that is forming, and we need to just give it a little bit more attention. Okay. Trust your intuition, because you're going to see you're just going to see a lot happen for you this week. And so it's almost like just keep eyes on something that's just starting to form, or just has already started forming for you. That's really beautiful. Now, this is why I don't think look, you got the Ace of Pentacles, you got the 9 of Cups, you're good. That's why it's like, this is, just keep an eye on it. Ace of Pentacles in your crown. Yeah. You want this new path. You want this. It is the biggest pentacle in the deck. So a lot of y'all have already moved into this new path. Okay. And it's taking up like all your conscious, and it's in your ground too. And so there is something here where it's like you are ready to go. You see the golden pathway here with the archway? That is a gateway, and it is the biggest pentacle in the deck. And I have to remind you that pentacles are also your physical reality. But either way, it's like ready, set, go for you. And a lot of y'all are moving into a place where it's like, yeah, I started my own business, or yeah, I got a raise, or yeah, you know what I mean? Like there's something here that's amazing, new, everything that you wanted, with a wish come true card in the heart of, or in the root of your spread, right? This is absolutely amazing. Okay. I can't even this card, the 9 of Cups, by the way, it's a Pisces card attributed to Jupiter and Pisces. So you've got Jupiter, Ace of Pentacles, like what? So there's something not only like where you're getting recognition this week and new things happening, things that you wanted, things expanding. This is total satisfaction, by the way, right? The 9 of Cups, but there's that expansion, that feel good energy. Now you do have the Devil. So there is a little bit of a speed bump. What is that thing that you haven't let go yet? Right? You got to make that decision. You got to let that. This is, look, couple in your future. So there's, again, it's all about prioritizing. Trust your intuition. The Devil, at the end of the day, is really just like an energy vampire. It takes away your energy from the things that you have to focus on, right? The Devil is like addictions, codependency, bad behaviors, or, even like pessimistic thinking. Okay. But you see the two from the Lover's card, right? Chained to the Devil. Okay. So the chains are loose. You can break free anytime you want. How do you do that? You got to be aware of what those chains are. That's all it is. All right. So there's, and funny enough, the Devil, okay, this is what's really funny. The Devil, remember I said Saturn moving into Aries, like that also impacts your 3rd house, 4th house. The Devil is Capricorn, right? Saturn is Capricorn's ruler. And so remember I said out with the old, in with the new. And that includes habits, patterns, things like that. So again, this is in a sense like that self-sabotage energy I was talking about. but it feels so good, right? Whatever it is, it's like, oh, this feels so good. But recognize what it is. And it's not good for my path forward. And if you don't end it, Saturn will come in and he's going to say, oh, you don't let this go? We're going to do it the hard way. So that's why you want to be the one to recognize what's got to go. All right. And it's all to make your path even, it's just like there's a little, a tree fell over while you were driving to your pot of gold. And it's a small branch, but if you don't, move it, it could be a log. Anyway, that's weird. Scorpio, let me do a time check. Oh gosh. Okay. Scorpio, if you like this reading, would be great. If you like, subscribe, leave comments, tell me what's going on. Ooh. And I love y'all. Let's yeah. Yep. Okay. Big week. Big week. Okay, just like the other, okay. So you see that there's a lot going on. High Priestess, what I said earlier, just trust your intuition. That's all you got to do, okay? A lot of y'all are possibly looking at what's going on for y'all. You are going through this moment of like, remember, there's that awakening, that spiritual awakening, that even like that full moon that was like transformative for you. Like it's like what needs to be illuminated. Well, you still have the High Priestess with you, which is really amazing. Associated with the moon, you can even see the sliver of the moon at her feet right here, right? So trust your intuition. And this is the subconscious, so don't be afraid to unroot those things that may be in your subconscious that may be holding you back. She is a guardian of the subconscious protecting you. You still have her. You even see her headdress, the different phases of the moon, right? So wonderful. 2 of Wands. Okay, there you go. This is saying, there's likely someone here, that's a little like on the fence about something, is the biggest energy coming through. And it could also be you. Yeah? There's a little bit of like, okay, we got to really talk about that because there's so many big things happening. There's so many big things that I want. Things are happening for me in this wonderful way. So let's clear the decks. All right. Now, second thing is, there's someone that you are just beginning this. There's something new partnership, new collaboration, creative project, whatever it is. There's someone else involved here. And it's just aligning. Let's align our visions. That's all it is. Okay. Take the time that you need. What did I say? Wax on, wax off. There's no train leaving the station, right? You got that new moon though. That's coming up. So you want to clear those energies for that new moon. That is again, amazing. That's, and you got the tower. There you go. All right. So, 2 things here. One, I love that. I love that because where it's saying is like, well, for a lot of y'all, you're like, I don't want any more unexpected, surprising moments, especially when it comes to anything that has to do with, legal matters or even, partnerships, relationships, one-on-one connections, marriage, things like that. There, by the way, when I see what's happening for y'all, there may be someone that you recognize is actually not good for you. It turns out they're not supporting you in the way that you thought, but you've got to recognize that. All right. But anyway, a lot of you are just saying like, no more. But at the same time, some of y'all are not recognizing something that it's like, this is the week there's too many great new things happening. And this one thing could be holding me back in that low energy, frequency. And that would be preventing you from doing these amazing things this week, where you're taking inspired action, okay? And it could be this one thing that because of that, you're creating this future of like, oh, I'm not going to go down this path because I don't think I'm good enough for it. Or I don't think, it's almost like based out of fear, if that makes any sense. Don't do that. What did I just tell? I just told you about creating your reality. And I told you all the aspects of this week are great. So it really comes down to this, okay? It can be the subconscious, something within you, someone in your physical world, because that's just going to make it hard for you. You got that 10 of Wands and your final outcome. Now, This is also a good thing. 10 is the end, right? So this is saying, yeah, maybe you have been going through it. All right. Maybe you've been, there's been like boulder on your shoulder. You've been like really, really feeling that. Okay. Especially with your self-worth, self-value, work, money, things like that. But 10 is the end. 1 0 equals 1, new beginning. Drop a wand or two. This, you got the devil in your future, 10 of wands, right? You want to see your future and you want to map out. What did I say? Visualize. That's all you got to do. And put yourself on that timeline. You've got to see. Can he see? No. He doesn't even know where he's going. He's carrying so many wands, he can't even see. You've got to see. In order to see, you got to work on that, okay? That devil energy, right? So the good thing, like I said, coming to the end, right? But again, lay down a wand or two. Are you taking on too much? Are you taking on other people's responsibilities? Are you taking out, do you know what I mean? But it's also like there is this big reward for you. So it's almost like everything that you've been going through has been worth it with everything that you're about to experience here. Okay. So again, it's that, like, if you were to say, no, it wasn't worth it, that's the devil card. That's you saying, having that pessimistic thinking. You have to say, yes, it was worth it. I learned what I needed to learn. That was Saturn. That was Saturn. And that was, what I needed. All right. Because now I've learned my lessons and I never have to go through that karmic cycle again, because that's what Saturn is karma. All right. And again, then actually this card is attributed to Saturn in Sagittarius. So all about your self-worth and self-belief and self-value. And it's one. So it can be something here with work or career or just your passions. But anyway, Scorpio, I've gone on too long. Thanks so much. Next week, second spread. Oh yeah, we'll go deep. I told you Juno's really active with your North Node. Juno's in your sign. We got triple conjunction in Aries. We got a lot happening. I'll tell you about Venus and the moon too. But there's a lot. All right, so tier 3 members, the North Node, we still have that. And so that's what's happening here with that 29 degree, even with the lunation. There's going to be a North Node conjunction at 29 degrees with Saturn. All right? So again, it's almost like a last gasp. But anyway, Scorpio, y'all are amazing. If you like this reading, would be great. Oh, tier 3 members, you know where to find the link. Anyone's welcome to join. Next week, you know what's happening. If you like this reading, would be great. If you like, subscribe, leave comments. Y'all are amazing. And yeah, y'all are set up. It's just that one little thing. Just I probably will. I'll clarify that 10 of wands in the second spread. All right, thanks so much, Scorpio. I'll see you next week. Bye.